Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial I'm gonna show you how to make this gorgeous hotbed or pot holder. The pattern is really easy. I will show you step by step how to make it. While you are here, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and to hit the notification bell. This channel is updated weekly with new tutorials, so make sure you don't miss any of my tutorials. So for this pattern we will need decor or size 3 cotton yarn, scissors, 4.5 millimeters crochet hook, and a stitch marker. So let's get started. To begin our project we need to work a magic ring. To work a magic ring we have to wrap the yarn into a ring, like this. Insert the hook through the ring and grab the yarn. Now with your left hand grab the working yarn and chain 1. This makes a magic ring. As you can see, you can tighten this circle or you can make it bigger. I will chain 1 again, and we will start by working 1 puff stitch into the ring. So to work a puff stitch we have to yarn over, insert the hook through the ring, grab the yarn and pull up a tall loop. So we need to repeat this step 3 more times. 1, 2, 3 more times. So now yarn over and pull the yarn through all loops on the hook, and chain 1 to secure, and chain 1 again. So we'll work another puff stitch into the ring. So I need to work a total of 4 times. 1, 2, 3 and 4 times. So we will have 9 loops on the hook. Yarn over and pull the yarn all the loops on the hook, and chain 1 to secure, and chain 1 again. So we need to work a total of 6 puff stitches into the ring. So we have 1, 2, so we'll do another puff stitch. So we yarn over and pull up a loop 4 times. There's the tall loop, 1, 2, 3 and 4 times. Yarn over and pull the yarn through all 4 loops on the hook, and chain 1 and chain 1 again. So we have 3 puff stitches, puff stitches and chain 1, and we need to work 2 more puff stitches. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 puff stitches. Now we can close this or tighten this hole in the middle by pulling tight the yarn tail, and we will slip stitch in the first stitch. It's here on the top of the puff stitch. So this is round 1. To begin with round 2, we have to slip stitch to the space between the first and the second puff stitch, and we'll chain 1. We will work 2 puff stitches in this space. We'll work 1 puff That's it. We don't chain again. So only in round 1 we chain. So again we'll work another puff stitch. Yarn over, pull the yarn through all the loops on the hook, yarn over and chain 1. That's it. Now skip the first stitch and you'll go into the chain space here between the second and the third, between the second and the third puff stitch, and we'll work 2 puff stitches there as well. So yarn over, 3 times, 4 times, yarn over, pull the yarn through all these loops and chain 1. We'll work another puff stitch there. So we will continue to work 2 puff stitches in each space between the puff stitches of the previous round. Go ahead and work 2 puff stitches in each space between the puff stitches. Round 2 I worked 2 puff stitches in each space. I will now slip stitch the top of the first puff stitch. Now I will slip stitch to the first space again to start round 3. For round 3 I will chain 1 again and I will work 2 puff stitches in the first space. 4 times, yarn over and pull the yarn through all the loops and chain 1, and I will place the stitch marker here so we know where to work the slip stitch, and I will work now another puff stitch in the same space. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Chain 1. So in the next space we'll work 1 puff stitch. Stitch. Now I'll go to the next space between the stitches here, and we will work 2 puff stitches. Another puff stitch in the same space. Go to the next space and we'll work 1 puff stitch. So continue to work this pattern, 2 puff stitches in the next space, 1 puff stitch in the next, 2 puff stitch in the next space, 1 puff stitch. So continue to work your way around, and I will see you at the end of the round. So I'm at the end of round 3. I ended the round with 1 puff stitch in the last space, and now I will slip stitch to the first puff stitch, to the top of the first puff stitch, and chain 1. Remove the stitch. I will slip stitch to the next space. chain 1. For round 4 we will work 2 puff stitches in the first space. 1, 2, 3, 4. One puff stitch. In the first space. Now I'll work 1 puff stitch in the next space. Okay, go to the next space and we'll work again 1 puff stitch. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And in the next space we'll work 2 puff stitches. 1 puff stitch and another one in the same space. Okay, so we'll work now 1 puff stitch in the next 2 spaces. So continue to work 2 puff stitches in the next space and 1 puff stitch in the next 2 spaces. At the end of the round, and I will meet you at the end. So I'm at the end of round 4. I worked 1 puff stitch in the last 2 spaces. So now I will slip stitch to the first stitch and slip stitch again to the first chain space. Round 5 again we will chain 1 and we will work 2 puff stitches in the first space. This will be the same in each round. 3 times. So we'll work another puff stitch in the same space. So now we will work 1 puff stitch in the next 3 spaces. 1 puff stitch here, 1 here, and 1 here. 3, 4, stitches and 3 puff stitches. I have 2, then 1, 1 and 1. So this is the pattern that we'll repeat. We'll work 2 puff stitches in the next space and then 1 puff stitch in the next 3 spaces. So repeat this to the end of the round and I will see you there. So I'm at the end of round 5. I worked 1 puff stitch in the last 3 spaces. So now I will join the round with a slip stitch to the top of the first puff. And I will slip stitch to the first space. Chain 1 again. And as I said, we'll work 2 puffs in the first space. This is a repeat for each round, so 2 puffs in the first space. puff stitch in the next 4 spaces. So 1, 1, 1 and 1. So 1 puff in the next space. 1 puff in the second space. 1 puff in the third space. And 1 puff in the fourth space. So now we'll start again with our repeat. 2 puffs in the next space here and 1 puff in the next 4 spaces. So continue this pattern to the end of the round. If you need, you can pause the video until you work your puffs, and I will see you at the end. So I ended row 6. I work 4 puff stitches in the last spaces. So now I will slip stitch to the top of the first puff stitch and slip stitch again to the first space. So chain 1, and for row 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we need to work again 2 puff stitches in the first space. So 1 puff stitch, 2 stitches in the first space, and we'll work 1 puff in the next 5 spaces. So 1 puff in the next space, 1 puff in the second space, 1 puff in the third space, and 1 puff in the fourth space, and 1 puff in the fifth space. So we have 2 puffs in the first space, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1 puff in the next 5 spaces. So this is our repeat. Again, we will work 2 puff stitches in the next space, and we will work 1 puff stitch in the next 5 spaces. So repeat this pattern to the end, and I will meet you there. So I ended the round with a puff stitch in the last space. So now I will slip stitch to join the round to the first puff, and slip stitch again to the first space. Chain 1 and work 2 puffs in the first space. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1 puff. The second puff in the same space. 1 puff in the next 6 spaces. 1 here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So 1 puff stitch in each space. We have 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 space. One in the sixth, in the fifth space, and one in the sixth. In the first space and then one puff in the next 6 spaces. So this is our repeat pattern to the end of the round. So continue to work. If it's necessary, you can pause this video and work your way around. I'm at the end of the round, and now I will join the round with a slip stitch to the first puff. We'll continue to work now the border of the hotpad. So I'll chain one and work one single crochet on the top of the stitch where we worked our slip stitch. Okay. And one single crochet in the space between the puffs. Single crochet on the top of the next puff stitch and one single crochet in the space between the puffs. On the top puff, one single crochet between the single crochet on the top of the puff stitch and one single crochet in the space between stitches to the end of the round, and I will meet you there to show you how to work an invisible join. So I ended the round of single crochet stitches, and now I will cut the yarn off. Stitch and we'll insert the needle under the second stitch. And now we'll go through the center of the stitch, our last stitch. This is my hotpad. It's very beautiful. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I hope you liked this pattern. Make sure to subscribe and to hit the notification bells. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next tutorial.